Welcome to today's live stream where I will be building a royalty distribution system for musicians on Base. We'll be using Base for transparency and the Coinbase SDK for payments. You'll see how we automate earnings for artists within the CoopRex ecosystem. Stick around and let's code it together. I'll go ahead and share my screen and we'll jump right into the coding. I've already defined all my tasks. What I've done so far is I have created a simple API route /API earnings distribute. API earnings distribute. It's a very simple API endpoint. All that it does right now is it just replies with a success message. And we can test this success message by going to cooprecords.xyz /API /earnings /distribute. And we'll see that here, we're going to just get that success message, hopefully. Did I do it wrong? API earnings distribute. I thought I had shipped it. Maybe I didn't. So in that case, let me make sure I'm shipping this. I said I've shipped it. I put it in the admin page. So it's actually at admin.cooprecords.xyz /API /earnings /distribute. We can see we got the success message, earnings distribution endpoint initialized. Let's get started with the next step. The rest of the things that we're going to be doing will support Supabase so that we're pulling all of the contracts we want to distribute from Supabase. After that, we'll get royalties. We'll call each of the contracts on Base, and we'll look up who is the royalty recipient for that so we know who was getting paid. After that, we'll get the balance of. All of the payouts for musicians accumulate inside of the protocol rewards contract. And so we'll get the balance of for each of the recipients to see how much funds are waiting to be unlocked inside of the protocol rewards contract. Then I'll pull in the Coinbase SDK. I'm going to be using the Coinbase SDK to be able to sign transactions without me exporting an EOA wallet. This is going to give us a wallet that we use just for the distribution. So that way we're not mixing private keys. We're not exporting private keys. And we're using the Coinbase SDK. Finally, we'll call the withdraw for method. We'll be using a smart wallet, which is going to allow us to call the batch transactions to actually execute all these transactions signed by the same wallet. I know this is going to get technical, so if you don't know anything and you have some questions, please use the chat because I'll be replying to the chat throughout to help you build on Coinbase using their SDK, on Base, on chain, as well as if you're building music or building a record label, helping you see what's behind the scenes in the CoopRex ecosystem. Okay, I believe I'm already on my branch for distribute with Supabase, so all I'm going to do is say over here for step 64. This is my variation of vibe coding where I define the tasks in linear. I then copy and paste my tasks into my roadmap. And then I give the cursor a scratch pad so that the AI can write down its thoughts, its plan of action, its research, its understanding. And this gives us a clear and succinct way to communicate from the goals that we have as a company to the implementation of the AI doing the carpentry of the base level implementation details. I'm going to create a new Git route that should already exist. Let's jump down to the next one. Update the endpoint to query contracts, requirements, query the contracts table with the filters chain ID and token ID, return the contract address and token ID. Sounds perfect. Let's first check if we have access to the Supabase client. We might also need to check for any existing types, checking for environment variables. It's got all the steps that it needs. It's now going to go directly in and update the route. I'm most likely going to tell it not to directly update the route, but instead to add libs to make the queries, because I don't want, the goal is to follow the single responsibility principle, which means each function, each file should do precisely one thing, no more, no less. So if we are querying Supabase and we're responding to the API, that's two things. I'm going to try to split that out so that the querying of Supabase goes into its own lib that can be reused, and that keeps our design modular. We'll accept it for now, and I'll make these changes later. The only thing that it did was change the root. I'm not going to be testing locally. Let's check manually on our side to see if there's already a lib that does this. We've got a Supabase folder to keep us organized. So I'll collapse app, go into lib, collapse this stuff, find Supabase. I'm not seeing many, there's not many libs in here, so we will most likely need to create a new one. Define the Supabase query in a new lib. In a new lib, I'm going to tell it to do it inside of this folder. And let's clean up the typos from voice typing. Please define the Supabase. There were some typos and grammatical issues there, but it looks like it is already knowing what it needs to do. Get earning contracts. Okay. Get earnings. It's doing some filtering stuff. I don't fully understand, but it looks directionally correct. An earning contract is a contract address and a token ID. It also should have a chain ID, but we'll omit that because it's using an environment variable. Should have just updated the route. Look at all that code deleted. Look at how much simpler this route is now. We are down to 20 lines of code for this API route. And so this makes it very easy for us to read. The endpoint is calling a lib, returning the results of that lib. I think this is perfect. It's just updated its Scratchpad. I'm going to go ahead and commit this, and we'll test it in a deployed environment to keep my builds fast, because I've learned testing locally with this app gets slow when I'm live streaming. And so if I just push the changes, we can test on the deployed environment a little bit faster. Now that we've pushed, let's open up our first pull request of the day. Head over to github.com/coop-records/admin app. Once we are on this page, it should auto prompt me to open up the new pull request for the branch that I've pushed. And so we're constantly getting these little signals from the world around us that we know what you're trying to do, and we're going to guide you through it. Like, hey, I see that you pushed up this branch. Do you want to click this button? I do want to click that button. Thank you. You see that other green button? You want to click it? Yeah, I do see that green button, and I do want to click it. And I don't have to do too much critical thinking in the actual implementation. Most of my critical thinking comes before the work is ever started, in the planning phase and in the ideation phase. With my pull request link, I can go into my code review Slack, #coop records, paste in the URL, and let's get the ticket. Copy the ticket title, paste the ticket title, copy the ticket URL, paste the ticket URL, send it out. We're now officially in review. And let's see how we can start testing this. Go to inspect so we can watch the Vercel deployment. We should already have a Vercel deployment because I pushed this branch way early. Yeah, here's my branch I pushed early. So I'm gonna get to where I expect the response to be. API earnings /distribute. This should just give me the hello world for now because we haven't, the deploy is still being worked on for the additional info. But I can take this and just say test here, and I can keep working on my pull request while the deployment is happening. Looks like the deployment was successful. So moment of truth, fingers crossed. Let's see if it works. Oh wait, I think I'm checking a stale. I was checking a stale deployment. Still deploying over here. Build complete. Looks like it just finished deploying. Let's try it again. Fingers crossed. And we see all the data, contract address, token ID across the board. So let's check out some of these and verify that these are tokens. We'll go to base scan. And on base scan, I'll just put in the contract addresses to verify that these contracts exist and that they are in fact COOP collectible tokens, ERC1155s. I'll check 3 of them, and as long as we have 3, I'll verify that we're good. And let's take a screenshot, new response. Response. So I'm already happy with the pull request. I'm just doing some last little verification before we ship it. But I think we've just shipped our first pull request, hopefully in less than 15. I'm going to spend about a minute testing. And so the goal is to get this first pull request out in less than 15 minutes so that we can set a strong cadence moving forward. There's an address. This is just an address. I should be checking base Sepolia because I'm using the environment filter. So let's try going to sepolia.basescan.org. And from here, we'll look up those tokens. Paste in a contract address, look it up. And I see this is a contract. I'm actually going to take it over to Third Web because I think Third Web will give me slightly faster verification. If I go to Third Web /base Sepolia testnet /contract address, I'm hoping up here we can see the contract name is AWEF2, which is me randomly typing letters. And if you can see A, W, E, and F are right beside each other. So I just roll my fingers on the keys, and that's how I got this test deployment. So we verified one of these is an actual contract. Let's do 2 more verifications before we get, I don't remember which one I just checked. So I'm trying 050. We've tried A42, 050. Is Tesh, and then 0B41. Let's try this one as well. And survey says this is also a contract. So we have tested that these are correct. Let's ship it and move on. Ship. Oh, wait, I didn't review any of the code. Let me do a quick code review. Okay, so inside of the API, we have now updated our response to be actual data, and we're calling that new lib. And inside of the lib, we are creating the type from our Supabase types. We're creating the contract that we'll be returning. We got some docs, gets all the contracts that have a valid token ID for the current chain, promise resolving to an array of contracts with their addresses and token IDs, error if the database query fails. We make the query. We filter out any contracts with invalid addresses and map to a response type. Contract address should be a address, and it looks like it's mapping it there to an address, which is perfect. And then we return. I'm happy with this. Let's ship it. 1-shot prompt for the win. I prompted the AI once to get the initial implementation. I gave it 1 cleanup prompt, and then that was all we needed to write a successful Supabase query. Merge it. We just shipped a pull request. Let's take this image, take it over into our thread, send a ship emoji, update the team that we have shipped this, add a ship emoji, and now we move on. Go back to our tasks, go back to the top level, move on to the next one. The next one we're reading on-chain info. I'll copy the link and let's go ahead and tell it. To market complete. Oh wait, no, that one's not complete. We were already good. For step 65. Started with its own research and planning while I check out the new branch, publish the branch to get that first build going. And then I will pull from main to get the latest changes that we just merged, get those included in my branch, and then we'll sync those as well as a follow-up build. Let's see what it plans on doing. Implementation. Okay, next step, step 65. Implement get royalties method, current task, update for each token and include the royalty information in the response. Call get royalties method. From the Supabase query, use VM multi-call to batch all the read operations in one API call and append to the response the chain ID royalty recipient. Royalty info should be recipient and amount. I don't think we care about amount. We only care about recipient. It's reading the correct ABIs. It's going to get a new function called get royalties. I don't think we care about amount. We'll keep it there just because it's not hurting us, but we're not actually going to be using that parameter. Okay. Get royalties accepts contract address, token ID, and chain ID. Then we get multi-call contracts for the contract, same ABI, same function with a special token ID. Then we do the multi-call. We get an error on that multi-call for some reason. A couple other errors. It's updating the route to use the new function call. Get royalties, contracts.map, enriched contracts. We're starting to get a little bit bulkier. And we're also seeing some errors. Get royalties is actually returning it as contract address, not contract underscore address. So let's see if we'll start here with the end and work backwards. Fix in chat. This should just be the variable parameters are incorrect. Instead of snake case where you have these underscores and everything's lowercase, the function's actually returning camel case, which means that there's going to be exactly what it's suggesting over here. Yeah. Looks good. No more errors inside of this file. Oh, there is. Unsafe assignment of an error typed value. Contracts is coming from there. We still have an issue. Chain ID is not part of that. Let's update the interface. And now we'll return the chain ID as well. That sounds fine. Looking good. Back in our route, this should be fixed. That's fixed. No more errors inside of our route. Instead of get earnings contracts, that one hasn't changed. But instead of get royalties, we're failing here. Let's try having chat fix it. If it doesn't fix it on first attempt, I will go into the docs and try to fix it myself on the VM side. But let's let the AI give it a shot first. I have a feeling it's going to try to write a whole bunch more code, and that's what I don't want it to do. So if it understands and makes a simple change, perfect. If it ends up really making it much more code, I'm not going to accept it. Okay, it uses a const. Still have the errors. But it looks like it fixed a couple. It fixed a couple of the errors, and I'm happy with those changes. All that it did was change it to const. And then down here, it's doing a couple more changes. One more type error. I think it's going to get them all. It's handling these errors quite well. Accept. I think we're all good. No more errors. The only thing I don't like is that we are doing too much here. Can we move this? Plus royalties call be moved to its own lib to keep the API route clean and simple, following the single responsibility principle? Question mark. Royalties call be moved to its own lib to keep the API route clean and simple, following the single responsibility principle. Let's send that out and see if it can implement the change I'm expecting. We are 20 minutes in. We have shipped 1 pull request so far. We are getting close to testing our second. Help you create a new lib, get contract with royalty, get contracts with royalties. Awesome. Seems like it's going to move all of this into it's going to move the get royalties call, only the get royalties call. It's looking good. Very clean. 35 lines of code. Big int is coming from utils, which does not make sense, but let's leave that there and just keep up with the AI. Our route is back to being clean. We call one function to get our contracts. We call another to get our enriched contracts with royalty information. We return the enriched contracts. The only thing we need to clean up are the errors that are in here. I think we can just get rid of the big int mapping or the big int import, and that clears up our error. So now let's push this and see if we fixed it. Well, not fixed it, but if we actually have correct info. Copy the roadmap task, paste it in as our get commit. Let's ship that commit so that it'll start the deployment, and let's mark an X in here to signal that we have finished this step. Come back to get. We're going to open up a new pull request while the deployment is happening. Come back to requests. Should auto prompt us. Click the compare and pull request button to open up the new pull request. You can see I'm not even testing locally. I'm just following what the AI is putting in. I'll test it once it gets deployed, but my tasks are small enough that I can just test these in a deployed environment and I don't have to do a lot of local testing. That only matters because I'm live streaming, and if I was testing locally, I would be running a server, which would be going really slow. You can already see I've already shipped 1 pull request. We're at 22 minutes. I'm going to try to ship my second pull request within the next 7 minutes so that we can stay at about 15 minutes per pull request. I'll take the link for this pull request. Let's go back to Slack. I'll say hashtag CooperX. Paste the link to the pull request. Let's go back to the list of tickets. Copy my ticket name. Copy the ticket link. And now we go into preparing for the review. Let's go back to Vercel. Let's check out the latest builds. We should see my latest push is triggering a build. Here's all the builds. I'm gonna go to this domain and let's go directly to /API/earnings/distribute so that we're now ready to test once the deployment is finished. We're already getting our previous responses. I'll say test here. And now that I've set everything up, let's go in and review the code changes to see if it matches expectations or if there's anything we want to change about the implementation of this code. I'm not liking the comments, so I think I want to remove those. So let me do that. I'm going to remove inside of the route. I'm not a fan of comments. Code should be self-documented, and so I'll remove those. Are there any other comments in these files? Let's just focus on one pass over of comments so that I don't repeat it multiple times. Let's remove it from get contracts with royalties. Get contracts with royalties. Delete that. Delete that. Save it. Let's check if the next ones have any comments inside of here. Nothing. And instead of get royalties, yep. So let's go over to get royalties, prepare multi-call contracts, execute the multi-call, process the results. Like all that should be self-explanatory. And I think that's all the files. So we'll add these changes. I'll say remove dev comments, commit, and push. And that will kick off another build, but all that we're doing is removing comments, so it should not impact the functionality. Let's refresh again, keep going with our review, unless it's already done. It looks like it's done, so let's give it a test. No sense reviewing the code if the code doesn't work, so let's at least test it first to see. I see contracts, a contract address, a chain ID. Now I see royalties with a royalty recipient, and I can see that we have different royalty recipients. Some of these should be splits and others should not. Let's see if any of these are a split. Let's check this one right here. Plug in the address. Hopefully this tells me that it's a push split. Okay, it does not know what this is, so we will go to Sepolia. Let's just go over to Sepolia and we'll look up the address over there, see if it gives us a more clear answer about what's going on this base contract. We go to the address. We see that this address is just an EOA. So it looks like that previous response was correct. This is my EOA, E203. I don't know what this is, so let's see if this is a split. Oh, that's what we just looked up. That's another EOA. Here's a different one, 5E08. This is also just an address. Do we have any splits as examples here? E5E06D, that's different. Check out this contract. This is a push split. So we can see that some of these are splits, some of these are single addresses. In all cases, we now have the royalty recipient. We have the contract address, the token ID, the royalty recipient. Now we need to figure out how much funds each of these has. So now we're getting into the interesting part. I'm starting to think in my head, okay, we actually only want the balance once for each of these, but it's going to give me the same balance for multiple of these. I have a feeling what we want to do is actually orient the response around the royalty recipients instead of the contracts. But for now, let's not overthink this. Take a screenshot. Let's get this shipped. We are at 28 minutes. We're still under 30. There's still a hope that I can get this next pull request shipped under 30. But can I actually put in the steps to make it happen? Response. Now I'm ready to ship. I've already reviewed the code. Let's ship it. Did I review the code? I'm not seeing checks in here. So let's add the checks. This looks perfect. Look at how clean our API route is. Get contracts with royalties, super clean, super short, less than 50 lines of code. We have updated to include the chain ID. Not that that matters. Get royalties is a new function, which is doing our multi-call. I'm happy with this. Let's go back to the conversation and ship it. I have 30 seconds till we hit 30 minutes. Can I ship this? Come on, come on, come on, come on. Okay, we squash and merge. We have shipped 2 pull requests in less than 30 minutes. We're now on to our 3rd pull request of the day. We are shipping. Seems I'm shipping faster on a live stream when I don't test locally and all I do is test in Vercel. I don't know if this is a rule I can follow forever, but it's at least something that I'm noticing in today's in today's build. Okay, we got 2 pull requests done. Let's move right into 3. No sense holding up. Let's keep this momentum. Next up is this balance of function. Copy the link, go back to my code base, tell it over here, close everything except for the roadmap. Pad for step 66. Have it get started on that while I update the branches, check out 2, my new branch name, create the new branch and push it so that we can get our first build started as fast as possible to make our testing faster. Then we will pull from main to get the latest changes that we just shipped. And then we'll do the same thing of committing those changes. So in this step, what we need to do is, now that we have all the recipients, we need to look up how much rewards do each of these recipients have. Add get royalties, we already did that. Let's check out where the next one starts. Add functionality to calculate earnings based on royalty information. Add protocol rewards balance information. Task description, update the distribute endpoint to fetch and include protocol reward balances for each royalty recipient. Query the balance of on protocol rewards for each unique royalty recipient. Use VM multi-call to batch all balance of calls in one transaction. Update the API response to include balances with contract details. And then this should be our response. Technical design. Looking good. I don't know if we already have the ABI for protocol rewards, so let's check. I'm not seeing the protocol rewards ABI in here, so let's get started with that. Protocol rewards ABI.ts const protocol rewards ABI equals yada yada as const. And then we'll also say export on this. Now let's find the protocol rewards contract. I will do that by checking out, let's go to coop records.xyz. I'm going to try to find an example song on base, figure out a mint transaction on that, and then see where the funds are sent, because that's going to give me the protocol rewards contract. Visit the site. Oh, it was just taking a couple seconds to load. Let's find one of the new songs on the new protocol, like any of these Zed's Dead songs. Makes me so happy to know that Zed has dropped on a protocol that I helped deploy. It's like, wow, we're actually doing this music stuff on chain. And the musicians that I remember listening to in high school are using it. The musicians I listened to in high school are publishing on chain. They're publishing on base, using the protocols that we are building together. So we take that contract address and we go straight to base scan, so we can look up this contract and get the mint transaction, which is going to give us the protocol rewards contract address. Look up the contract. We're appending this token ID at the end, which makes it so that I have to think a little bit more. You can't just copy it. You got to copy and delete some stuff. Okay, here's a mint transaction from 24 seconds ago. Look at how many mints we're getting. Like every couple seconds and minutes, there's new mints rolling in. People are collecting music on base. And here's the funds flowing to the protocol rewards contract. So let's go to this contract, copy the address. Hopefully, copy the address. Note the address for protocol rewards is this, and the ABI is, let's go to the contract tab. And then we will go down to the ABI section where I can just copy this ABI, delete these 2 hard brackets, paste the ABI. When I save, it auto formats. Let's move all the way back. And here's our ABI. And the ABI is, boom. Send that out. It should now have all the info that it needs to be able to get the balance of. It's going to create its lib, create a new lib. Using the provided protocol rewards contract address and ABI. Cool. It's now getting started with its implementation. So let's go back to what the overall progress is while it's writing the code. We've created an API endpoint using Next.js. We've pulled all of the contracts and tokens we want to query on chain from Supabase. We've queried in red data on chain on each of the contracts to figure out who is the royalty recipient, which musician and artist should get paid out for each of these tokens. We're now going to be looking up for each of the people that needs to get paid out, how much money do they have waiting in the rewards? That's what we're doing right now. We already know who is earning money, which musicians are getting paid. Now we just need to figure out how much money are they getting paid. And we can read all that information directly from Base. And after this, we're going to be using the Coinbase SDK. Let's start following what it's doing. We got this initial function. It defined the const here. I'll move it into the const file. It's removing duplicate recipients. It's calling the balance of function using multi-call. And then it maps it over the results to give us royalty recipients and balance. Feeling perfect right now. Feeling awesome. What's this next one? Then we have enrich contracts with balances. Recipients get mapped. We get the protocol balances for the recipients, and then we map them, and then we add a balance to each of the fields. This is looking perfect. What else we got? Did we update the route? And then we're updating the route. However, it looks like there's an error. I'm not even going to read it. Let's just fix it right in chat. Have the chat deal with the only error. There's actually another error over here. Now there's no more error. Oh, now there is an error. So it seems making this a const fixes the errors down below. Except this. Is our route now fixed? Comment this out, wait for the line to disappear, bring it back in. Still the same error. Fix it again. It's missing an import. We get that missing import. Does that fix the errors? Fix that error. Cannot find the name. It should have found the name. Okay, it looks like we fixed all the errors in here. Is our route looking better? This is our route. Okay, I don't want this filter here in the route, but let's keep checking out how we can fix some of these things. Let's copy this. Please. Address definition into the constants file with the other addresses. All right, let's dig into what's going on here. So we got our royalties. Now we're enriching our contracts with balances. That then calls our get protocol rewards balances, and then it updates the response type to include the new data. We've got our protocol rewards contract in here, and it's still not liking that there's a const, so I'll delete that. And I'm going to move this with the rest of the addresses so that our grouping is consistent. Let's check out the file over here. Okay, it's not like in contracts. What happens if I say as const here? Does that fix it? Or if over here I say as const, does that fix it? Okay, adding const fixes the error. Let's try as address. Address fixes it, question mark? I don't understand how that fixes it. Let's try moving this as address into the definition of the constant itself. Import type address from VM. And is there still an error? Cannot find name. That should be fixed now. That's fixed. How are we looking over here? No more errors. No more errors. So I think we're all good. Let's do a push so that this build can get started. X save. Let's copy the entire commit message. Go over to our Git side. We modified a few files here. We added the ABI. We updated the route. We added a new constant, and then we created a couple new files. Quite a few changes here. We'll commit it. Whoops. Click the plus and commit it. I thought I clicked your plus. Click the plus again, commit it again, push the changes. Now we've got that build getting kicked off. Let's get started with our review. Come back to GitHub. How are we doing on time? Okay, I got 3 minutes if I want to stay on the same cadence that I'm on. I don't want to be attached to the outcome, so if I do slow down a little bit, I want to be okay with that, but my current cadence is about 15 minutes per pull request. Let's compare and pull. Just create it into main. Copy the branch or the pull request, and now go into GitHub. Hashtag CooperX. Paste the URL for the Git pull request. Copy the ticket name. Copy the ticket URL. Come into here and let's find our Vercel preview so that we can start testing this. We can close some of these and let's go back to Vercel, find the latest build that we want to actively track to determine when our changes are ready, which should be this one that's already been building for a minute. Go to the specific deployment, go to the specific domain, and now we'll go to the URL where we will be testing my changes, which is /API/earnings/distribute. Copy the URL. We should, when we visit this URL, see up to and including our royalties information. So this should include the funds recipient. Let's verify that that's true. Visit the domain, and all of this information is being read directly on chain. First, we're reading from Supabase, then we're reading on chain, a couple times on chain. All of this right now you can see is on base Sepolia. So this is the URL, but it's still missing the new data that we just pushed. But I can at least update and say test here. Whoops, that was wrong. edit, paste, paste. Okay. Let's start our review, unless it's already finished. Did it already finish its build? Wow. This flow feels faster. Let's refresh. Fingers crossed. Let's see if we get a balance. Failed to get contracts. Okay, so now we're failing. Womp womp. Let's go into here and go to logs and see what failed. Logs. Type error, do not know how to serialize big int. That is a normal error. Can we copy it? We can. This error using your scratch pad. Where's it doing it? Somewhere in the response, we are. Issue is we're trying to serialize big int values in the JSON response, which JSON stringify cannot handle. It's going to sequentially think, so I want to watch it because sequential thinking requires multiple tool calls to get fired. Thinking again. Search the code base. Thinking again. Now it's going to update the route. It's still thinking sequentially, which I don't fully understand. Let's get these other linter errors fixed. And this should 100% get moved to a standalone lib. We're still getting errors. Address those as well. We need all the errors fixed. Okay, our cadence is slowing down a little bit on this pull request as we start to read from the protocol rewards contract. I'm going to go turn on the air. I'll be right back. It's getting hot. And if you didn't see, we got a kitty in the background. There she is. She's taking a nap. That's Kalani, my little princess. She has no idea what on-chain means. Bro, you still got errors. Goodness. One final approach. Come on. Right now we're doing a dumb is the word that's coming into my head, but there's probably a better word. We're doing a dumb approach to fixing this by just trying to fix anywhere that there might be a big int. There's going to be a better way for us to do this, but for now, this feels like a great catch-all. To a new lib instead of being defined inside of the API route function. Each time I'm saying lib, it's changing it to lab. We got a nice recursive function here. If anyone's a computer science student, you'll know what a recursive function is. For those of you that are not, a recursive function is one that calls itself. And so what this does is it's trying to format any occurrence of big int. But if the thing it's looking at is an object, it's going to call the same function on that sub-object so that it'll keep tracing out through all of the objects that might be contained to fix the formatting. Okay, we now have a standalone function. Go back to our route and we should get this deleted and just import the function instead, which is going to look way cleaner for our API endpoint. We want clean code, way cleaner, way easier to read. Still not perfect, but we're moving in the right direction. Big int to string. Let's commit that, sync it. And while that's deploying, I'll start on my code review. So it seems like there weren't any errors hit along the execution, and it wasn't until it tried to respond with the API response that we hit an error of formatting. Our ABI, our route was updated. Look at all those nasty comments. We don't need those. We added our new protocol rewards address, enrich contracts with balance, includes comments that I'm going to want to delete. Get contracts with royalties looks perfect. Get protocol rewards balance needs removed comments. Lib utils json.ts. I don't like how they named that. Let's change that one first. This file name should be the same as the function name. I don't know why it was called JSON when. Rename. Convert big int to string. Whoops, and now wherever that was used, I believe it's inside of the route. Instead of JSON, let's now convert big int to string. We deleted JSON, we added convert big int to string, and we updated the route to use the new import. Refactored util file name, commit, and push. How's our build? Are we able to test the changes? Or is it still deploying? Looks like it's still deploying. We got about 20 seconds left before it's ready. So let's go back to our review. And I think the next step is removing all those comments. So let's just go in and start removing comments. We'll start with the route. Create a new lib for filtering contracts with undefined royalties. I don't want any logic to be done in my route. I only want it to call external functions. That way, this is really easy to read and maintain. This is the entry point for the request, and I don't want it bogged down with a whole bunch of code that just makes it a fear-inducing machine for any dev that comes in and tries to update it or understand it. That's why we split anything into its own lib. It follows a single responsibility principle, which keeps our code small, keeps it modular, keeps it reusable, easy to maintain, easy to read. Less is more, simple is best, small is beautiful. That's the principle I like to follow in everything that I do, both inside of coding and in life. Now it'll update the route to call the function. Let's accept it. New lib, commit and push, and we should now be able to test with our latest changes. Yeah, let's try testing again and see if we still get failed to get. Fingers crossed. It looks like we got a valid response in that initial flash. Okay, and we've now got balances. For each one, we can see how much is remaining or how much needs claimed for that address. All of these values are in way, which means that we need to convert them to ETH. Let's do some quick dummy checks on these values just to make sure that they're valid numbers. Well, do we care if they're, yeah, let's check if they're valid numbers. I know I'm taking a longer time on this. This pull request will take us 30 minutes. Let's run a couple of these numbers to see if the numbers look correct in terms of their ETH balance. Way comes out to 0.006 ETH, which is just a couple dollars. This one comes out to $12. Let's check this one. Looks like the same value, same value, same value, different value. Yep, all these look like valid values. Now let's try to verify. Well, let me take a screenshot. Response updated with balance field. I'm moving too fast. Get my screenshot, put the screenshot over here. Response includes balance. Send that. All right. And now I wanted to check the constants. Copy the address, go over to base Sepolia scan. Let's go to Sepolia, and we'll verify 3 of these numbers to verify that we are actually pulling the correct pending balance for these wallets, for these creators. Each of these addresses represents a musician or an artist that is releasing music on Coop Records, or it's a split. And so we can go over to the contract tab, read contract, and there is a balance of method, the same method we're calling with code. We're now going to manually call it to verify. So I should be able to look up this royalty recipient, and I should see that this balance is exactly what this wallet has waiting for it. Wait for the info to load. Drink some tea so we don't sit here watching water boil. Doesn't look like it actually loaded, so I'll refresh. Contract read. Inside of here, there should be a balance of method. Balance of, look up the musician, and then we see how much the musician still needs to get paid. 965 is what it starts with. 965 is what I see here. Let's look up this one. This one ends with 668. starts with 607, ends with 668. So we should see 607 and then 668. Query, I see starts with 607 and ends with 668. We've got two verifications. Let's try this one that's just 3 with a whole bunch of zeros. Look up the musician or the split, query it, and now we should see the value that they have. This pull request is going to get merged. As long as, well, I need to verify the code first. Functionally, it looks great. Let's check if the code looks good. It's probably still got a whole bunch of comments I don't want, so we'll get rid of those comments. Comments, let's get started removing them. Go to the route file, and I'm going to just delete these. Okay, deleted all the comments from there. We've also got them enriched content with balances. Go over here, delete this comment, delete this comment, delete this comment. And after that, we've got filter valid contracts, filter valid. Nope, this one's good. Happy with this one, let's close that. Get protocol rewards balances, get protocol rewards balances inside of here, removing duplicates, prepare the multi-call array, execute the multi-call, process the results. Anything else? Nope, this should be good. Add this. I remove dev comments, commit, and push the changes. Once the changes have been pushed, we can come back to our code review. All that we did was modify comments, so this will not be modifying the functionality. So as long as I'm happy with the code review, I will ship without waiting for this specific deployment because we already tested it. Enriching the contracts, we map to get a unique set. Well, no, we map to get the royalty recipients. We get the protocol rewards for each of the recipients. We get the balance for each of them and map them to the correct contract, and then we return it. Same inside of get protocol rewards balance, we make one API call to read using multi-call off of base. Yeah, the M-base client multi-call, and then we get the balances, and then we return them with royalty recipient and a balance. The recipient allows us to connect the number with who it should be associated with, and then the balance is the actual number. All that's looking good. Let's ship and keep moving. Again, I'm still behind my estimated 15 minutes per pull request. Let's get it shipped before we start calculating numbers and reflecting. Constantly toggling between planning the future, reflecting on the past, and using our attention to guide the present. Squash and merge, confirm the squash. I'll take a photo of this. Let's go back to Slack. Slack is where I communicate with my team. Send a shipping emoji to signal that we have shipped this pull request, as well as update the route with a little ship emoji. Close out of this. We're now on to our next task. Let's go and have it start prepping its Scratchpad. Go to roadmap, close all the others. Okay, and I'm going to specifically pull out what files it needs to prepare for step 67. These libs from the reference repo. So in this one, I want it to pull code. In this task, I would like cursor to pull code that I've already written. I've already got this Coinbase Quick Start that has a whole bunch of libraries that I need in order to start using Coinbase. For example, client, which is what we want to set up, and get wallet, which should return to us the wallet information. It should also be the smart wallet. Let's see. I believe client should just be a simple setting up of Coinbase SDK info, and then get wallet is how we are creating a wallet. And then the other question I have is how are we generating the smart wallet? App, API wallet. Let's go to the route over there. Generate a private key to account, create the smart wallet. So actually we don't care about get wallet at all. We actually want to get a smart wallet. And that smart wallet is what we want to use to execute the transaction. We want to have one single smart wallet. And so we don't always want to be there will be some modifications that we'll need to make. Let's start there. Creating the smart wallet is that, and Coinbase SDK BNB setup client, and let's get the client code. And let's have it get started. Okay, checking in while it's writing. We have 2 tasks remaining. We're on task 5 out of 6 for the day. What we've already done so far, we set up a brand new API endpoint using Next.js. We read all of the music contract addresses from our Supabase database. We then queried the base chain, just base. We queried base on chain to be able to get all of the royalty recipients for each of those songs, each of those tokens, each of those collectibles that musicians are creating. Then we looked up how much money each of those creators have earned and have waiting for them to be claimed. We're now pulling in Coinbase info, and once we get that Coinbase smart wallet, we'll then move into the next step of doing the withdrawals for everybody. Let's see how it is implementing its plan so far. Set up the SDK for smart wallet initialization, enable batch signing functionality, return the smart wallet public key in the API response, TypeScript, constant. Okay, it knows the client that we want, and then it's going to create wallet, which is going to create the smart wallet and then return the smart wallet as well as the address, and then we'll update the response. It already knows we need to include some notes. I'm happy. Let's start proceeding. Plan follows. Would you like me to start? Start implementing. I'm just going to say start implementing. And let's see what it does. Am I already on the right branch? Survey says. API, learning, distribute, balance of. No, I'm not. I have not checked out a new branch. So before we get too far, let's make sure we are on not this done task, but this new Coinbase SDK task. Let's check out 2, new branch. I didn't move fast enough, so let's try to just push, see if that push works. Click OK. And once that finishes, we try a pull from main. And now we try this up to synchronize the changes. And now we should be back to 0, 0. It looks like we're all good. All right, let's review these changed files to see what is going on. We've got a client.ts file where we are trying to import a package that we do not have called Coinbase SDK. I'll go ahead and start installing this. Gonna jump ahead of the AI a little bit. pnpm I package name. It's going to install the Coinbase SDK, and then I'll need those environment variables that I'm missing. Let's check out what the create wallet function is doing. It's also complaining about a missing package. Let's accept this. So both the client and the create wallet function are both complaining. Create batch signing wallet. Like, why are we giving the file name a different name than the function name? I want this to actually be called get smart wallet instead of get wallet. Update the API route. I think we can init the Coinbase SDK. Interesting. Did we delete a function? Yeah, we deleted the get earning contracts. Okay. And this should be convert big into string. Create wallet. Do we still have errors related to missing Coinbase SDK? Let's check with client first because this is the first task. If I comment you out, does the red line go away? Red line went away. Uncomment the change, save the change. Okay, what's it complaining about down here? Let's try the same thing. Can we comment you out? Red line go away, comment back in. Okay, still showing errors. Let's compare this to how our client looks over here. Export default, init Coinbase SDK. Okay, that fixed our first error for sure. And that fixed the rest of our errors. Okay. Deleting all these comments, we should be good in this file. Shooting myself in the foot by deleting these comments now before we're actually done coding. Let's check out this lib, calling create smart wallet. What's the error? We don't know what the error is. Let's try commenting it out. Comment back in. Create smart wallet is coming from Coinbase SDK. What is the issue? Fix in chat. I've already installed the Coinbase SDK. I've already installed. Continue. Let me check the type definitions. Seems like just changing the, nope, did not fix it. Let's undo some of these changes. Let's go back to my root file. Private key to account should be coming from VM accounts, the same place it's coming from over there. Generate private key, same place. And then create smart wallet is coming from Coinbase SDK. Signer is owner. Options comes from create smart wallet options. Let's drill into here and see what's going on. A signer should be a signer, and signer is coming from smart wallets. Let's see what that looks like. What does a signer look like? A signer has an address and a sign. Still throwing an error? Yeah, we still got an error. For now, I'm going to try to ignore this error because I think it's just type errors. We'll undo this change. Let's try hovering, quick fix, disable for this line. Hover, quick fix, disable for this line. Same thing here. Quick fix, disable for this line. Quick fix, disable for this line. Okay, we're just ignoring those errors because they're just slowing us down. What have we done? We updated the route. We're creating the wallet. I don't like the name of this, so let's refactor the function name to create smart wallet. And also here we are, we're generating a private key every time. We actually want to get the private key from our env file. So what I'm going to do is I'll generate it once. I'll log the value once. We'll log the private key once, and once I get a private key, we'll use that private key for now until the point that we get a private key from the Coop Records team for what they actually would like. Create Coinbase Smart Wallet, yada, yada, accept the file. Okay, now it's updating the route. Now we're creating Smart Wallet. Update the reference. Awesome. Let's push it so we can get our first build off the ground and see if it's already working. Copy the step. Paste the message. Commit. Before I push, I need my environment variables. So let's check out client to see what is missing. Also don't know what the error is here. We'll do the same thing. Quick fix. Highlight, quick fix. Oh my goodness, so many type errors. I need to talk with the Coinbase team to figure out why there's so many errors. All right, we get rid of all those errors. Ignore type errors from Coinbase SDK. Sync the changes. And so, oh, I just pushed the changes, but we still need to set our keys. So let's set those keys. Are these names the same as what we have over here? CDP API key ID and CDP secret. All right, let's set these locally. We'll make a, we should have a .env.example. Maybe we don't. It actually looks like we don't. So I'm not going to save these variables locally because I do not want to open up the env that we have on my machine. We'll just go straight to Vercel. Come over to Vercel, go to Settings, and Environment Variables. Inside of here, I will add CDP API key ID and CDP secret. And let's get some new keys from Coinbase SDK. So you go to cdp.coinbase.com, and that should take us straight over to the developer platform for Coinbase. This is where we go to get any new keys that we need in order to use the Coinbase SDK. I'll click the Open Portal button, and this will redirect me to portal.cdp.coinbase.com. Whole chain of subdomains there. And this is where we should be able to select our project and then generate some new keys for that project. Okay, API keys. Delete Coinbase starter. We'll delete this. Create a new API key. This is going to be delete earnings distribute Coop, just to signal that this was for the Coop project. And now I get an API key ID, and I can put that right into here. And then I can also get a secret, and I'll take that secret and I'll put it right there. Save these changes. And right now it's the same across all environments. I'll most likely update it in the future. Let's trigger a new deployment now that I've set those variables. So I'll redeploy the preview, click redeploy. Okay, it looks like there's someone here to deliver me some money. So I'm going to mute for a little bit. You guys can watch this build. And I'm gonna quickly send some funds and do some crypto things. Quick tangent, I'll include everybody in this. So what I do here in Argentina is, never mind. I'll be back in a little bit. You guys can watch the build, probably 5 minutes max. Okay, I am back, and let's see how we are doing. Looks like we failed deployment for something. So there's some error that's taken 3.5 minutes for us to get to. It's never fun. Unexpected await. Assertion is unnecessary. So it looks like instead of the distribute route, let's go back to the route for distribute. And we should see the error here. Unexpected await of a non-promise for init Coinbase SDK. Yeah, this is not anything we need to await. So let's go back to route, remove the await. There's no need for it. Additionally, we have assertion unnecessary instead of create wallet. I wonder where the assertion is unnecessary. On line 32, it says. Line 32 as address. So it seems like that. Grr. Let's try this as smart wallet. Smart wallet.address is 100% a thing. So let's try to just get rid of this error. Quick fix, disable that. No more errors, no more type assertion. Let's deploy again. Fix type errors. Commit it. Push it. Okay. Let's see if that fixes our build. It'll take us 3 minutes, so let's start setting up the pull request. Let's go back home. Should be auto-prompted here to set up a pull request. There it is. Create the pull request. Take the link for the pull request, go over to Slack, hashtag CoopRex. Take the ticket, put the ticket, let's find the API route. Just queued. There we go. Now it's building. Go to the domain. Let's go to /API /earnings /distribute. Take this URL. We'll send it in Slack and say test here. We should be getting all the balances here. We do get all the balances, but we are missing the smart wallet address. We're getting that deployment right now. Let's go back into reviewing the code changes while that deploy is happening. The route, we're initializing the Coinbase SDK, and we are creating the smart wallet, and we're updating the response to include that. Failed to process distribution data. Route looks good to me. Client, I don't like that we have to comment all this out, but if it works, it works. Same thing for create wallet. I don't like all the comments we have. Once we get a private key, we'll remove this variable and we'll use whatever private key we get. But so that's one change I need to make, and then we update the package in the PNPM lock. So I need to get the private key. I need to remove the dev logging or the dev comments. Need to test with the private key that we will be using, and then we should be good to go to ship it. We've got, again, this task and then one more task after that, and then we will be done for the day. We're an hour and a half into this. We have so far shipped 1, 2, 3. We've shipped 4 tasks so far in an hour and a half. Hour and a half is 90 minutes. Okay, Google, what's 100? It's about 25 minutes per pull request because we're about to hit 100 minutes. So right now my cadence is roughly, we finished 1, 2, 3. We finished 3 and we're on 4. Yeah, I know. How are we doing on our build? Linting still. Error. Uh-oh, we got another error. This assertion is unnecessary since it does not change anything. What file? Create wallet on line 26. Create wallet on line 26. Okay, we didn't need this. Let's remove it. Is the smart wallet type being used? Yeah, it's being used there. Okay, nothing else matters. Remove redundant typecast. Sync these changes. Trigger a new build, wait another 3.5 minutes. It's a slow iteration cycle, but 25 minutes per pull request is not too long. That feels relatively fast. If we're getting and shipping something every 25 minutes, there's 6 tasks in here. Each of those take 25 minutes. 25 times 6 comes out to 150. 25, 50, 75, 100, 25, 50, yeah, 150, which means 150 minutes to ship a full distribution mechanism on base to take an entire record label, collect all the funds that need to be collected, and distribute them directly into the wallets of every musician. An hour and a half, 150 minutes, a little bit over 2 hours, between 2 and 3 hours for me to build out that mechanism. And then every single day, all the musicians in the record label get paid out like clockwork. Money automatically hits the wallet every single day, no action required. Compare that to the traditional music industry where you have to submit all of your payment info. They tell you how much you get paid, but you're actually going to get paid less. Whatever you see on your dashboard doesn't show up in your wallet until 6 months later. And if you forget to take some steps along the way, that funding is going to either sit there, it'll go to someone else. There's a lot of opportunity to lose those funds. There's a lot of opportunity to forget about those funds. And it takes a long time for the funds to hit your wallet. When we build on base using Coinbase tools on chain, we get instant payouts for musicians. We get transparent distribution mechanisms so that everybody can see exactly how the funds are getting distributed. And we have automation to be able to process those payouts automatically with no human intervention required. These are just some of the many benefits musicians, record labels, and all the other actors in the music industry get by building on-chain with Base and with Coinbase instead of building on traditional music industry rails, traditional payment infrastructure, which it's time to update the system. It's as simple as that. This build is happening. Is there anything I can be doing? Try reviewing the code one more time. But I think the only thing we need to change in the code is this file to use our new private key. And that's something I'll set off screen. But let's assume, no, I don't want to assume anything. We're going to wait for this build. We're going to practice patience instead of moving ahead and assuming this is going to build successfully. Step by step, 1% at a time is how we climb the mountain. If we try to sprint ahead, we're going to spend extra energy, potentially have to retrace our steps. Stillness is the goal of meditation. The goal is freedom from the mind. If we can preserve our energy, focus where it truly is going to have the most impact, and sincerely focus on those important steps, while we might move slow, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. If we take slow steps consistently, it allows us to outpace any other team that is operating out there. All right, it's seeming like we're getting further in the build. Are we deploying? Linting, it's still linting. Looks like compiled successfully. We have warnings. I'm fine with those warnings. Collecting page data. Feeling optimistic. Generating static pages. We got a private key. Let's get that private key. I'm going to use this for now just to test with something, but I've already exposed it, so just know that I will be deleting this. So how I will do that is, let's go up here. Actually, is this even my private key? Yeah, that is my private key. So let's go into settings. Go to environment variables. I'm going to call this just private key. Paste the private key there. Let's make sure we don't have a private key anywhere else. Oh, we already have a private key somewhere. I guess we'll use that private key then. Let's just use that private key. There's already a private key. Let's not rethink the wheel, and let's just use, instead of generate private key, let's call it process.env.private key. Didn't even think to check if we already had a private key. We'll use that private key. I'm going to go ahead and delete all these comments while I'm here. I think those are the only comments. String or undefined, so we'll say as address. Okay. I use yada yada for private key. Commit and sync. All right, so now we can test this a couple different times. Our first test is going to be to see if it works when we're generating a new private key. It succeeded. So let's try testing this endpoint again to see if, instead of just giving us contracts, we hope to get contracts and smart wallet address. We get contracts and we get smart wallet address. So we are now creating a smart wallet on base each time we call this endpoint. I don't want it to call it every time. I want to do it one single time. And so part of me wonders what methods are inside of smart wallet. Smart wallet dot send user operation. How do we reload a smart wallet is going to be my next question, so that we're not constantly creating a new smart wallet, but we're using the same smart wallet every time. Let's go and check out the Coinbase docs and try to look up create smart wallet Coinbase docs. Smart wallet Coinbase developer documentation. That sounds like exactly what we're looking for. New smart wallet documentation. Okay, we'll go to your new smart wallet documentation. It redirects us to base. Start building. Actually, you know what? It doesn't matter if we are using a new smart wallet every time, as long as we're using a paymaster. So I think for now I'll ignore this, and the goal will be to use a paymaster. That's going to help us in two ways. One, we don't care what smart wallet is signing. We'll just keep using new smart wallets, and we'll use paymaster so that the gas will be covered. Additionally, this pushes the need for funds outside of the private key or the smart wallet and moves it over to the paymaster, which gives us more opportunities for funding, like using credit cards, crypto, gas credits from Coinbase, etc. So it allows us to operate at lower cost, less infrastructure to maintain, and higher uptime. Where are we at in our process? How's our latest deploy going? We have already gotten a successful smart wallet address, and we've gotten our contracts. So we have set up Coinbase SDK. We are getting the smart wallet, and now we just want to see if this deploys, and if it does deploy, are we still getting a smart wallet address using our new private key variable instead of generating a new private key? While it's deploying, I'm going to move this off screen and I'm just going to verify really quickly what our private key is. Jump over to the stream, make sure nobody can see it. Yep, y'all can't see it. Go into settings, environment variables, find the private key. Private key looks perfect. Coming back over, bringing it back over here for everybody to see. All right. Building, tracing, deploying. We've got our latest deployment. Let's refresh and see if we get a smart wallet address. Starts with A68. We should get a new one. Starts with ACE. Oh, so now it's the same every time. Interesting. Interesting. So it looks like the smart wallet is the same every single time. Cool to know. It might be because we are not, it might be because we're caching the results here. So we actually want to update this so that the results are not cached. We definitely don't want results cached here. So let's go to, where's an endpoint I've written? I don't remember. Here we go. This is what I wanted. This is going to force that we don't do caching at any level. I remove API cache. Commit that change. And I want to see, once this gets deployed, if we are now getting a new smart wallet address each time we trigger the API endpoint. Before we were caching, now we should not be caching. So I do want to check one more time. But let me send the results in Slack just to signal that we are getting a successful test. Response includes smart wallet address. Okay. We're deploying. We've reviewed our, have we reviewed our code changes? We're reviewing our code changes. Our route was updated again. The biggest difference is we're now not caching anything. And then in our create wallet function, create a new smart wallet for batch signing transactions, promise resolving to the smart wallet. This code looks messy because of these type assertions, but other than that, looks very short and clean. We're using our private key environment variable. No more generating a new one. I'm happy with the code changes. Code is complete. Let's wait and see if our testing changes at all. COO 580, we're on COO 581, so I'll delete that. Don't think we need these anymore. It's taken 4 minutes for these builds. It's starting to slow down. Is there anything else I could be testing or preparing because we're now seeing success? Let's go back to our roadmap. Let's add a little X here. Use paymaster to pay for the transactions. Make that little note there. Let me give it some docs to follow. Coinbase SDK docs. And we go to features. Smart wallet support. How do I get to smart wallets? Where's the actual docs? Making requests. Mobile wallet, Solana. But where do I actually, let's go to the CDP APIs, I guess. There's smart wallet. Seems like the docs are on the base side, so we will just keep moving forward with this. Smart wallet, React Native. This is not what I was looking for, actually. I don't want base docs. I didn't know there was a base SDK. No, it's using the Coinbase SDK. Install for web, recommended starter templates, use cases, cookbook. CDP SDK docs. I'm having trouble finding the smart wallet docs. I want the API reference, maybe. Smart, no. Wallets. Where did it go? Where did the smart wallet docs go? TypeScript SDK docs? No, don't take me to GitHub. These docs are not easy to read. Where are the docs? CDP SDK smart wallet docs. I'm just trying to find your docs. CDP, give me your docs, please. Where is the documentation? Let me, I guess, look up the function I'm using. Create wallet function, create Coinbase smart wallet is actually called create smart wallet. What am I looking for right now? Have we deployed? Let's see if we can keep moving forward instead of allowing me to get hung up. Distribute endpoint, we're hitting it. Failed to distribute, so it, what did we change? We are no longer caching. That was the only change we made, is that we're no longer caching. Let's see what the error is. All that we did was remove the API cache. What is the error we're hitting? Failed to create smart wallet. Did it give us any smart wallet already exists? How do we get it then? Instead of create smart wallet, whoa, there's a lot of stuff. Smart contract, where's smart wallet? Create smart wallet. What's to smart wallet? Smart wallet address. What does this do? Creates a smart wallet instance for an existing smart wallet address and signer. So I guess I need to do 2 smart wallet, but how do I know if it's already created? So there's a create method, which is failing. There's 2 smart wallet method, which I just want to know what the smart wallet is, yo. Let's copy this, give it to chat, see if chat can fix it. Error when I remove caching. To fix. Let me verify I'm not missing any meetings. I believe my next meeting's in an hour, so I should still be fine, but I want to verify. Yeah, my next meeting is. Yeah, I've got about an hour. Okay, Google, set an alarm for 2:33 p.m. I don't know if it got the right time. What are we doing? We are waiting for chat to give us an answer. Scratchpad. Let's see what it said in the Scratchpad. Yes, I would love you to proceed. I need to give you some docs though, so that you can, I guess let's go to the APIs. Smart wallet. Stop taking me to the base site, goodness. Start building. Identity, smart wallet introduction, install web. SDK. All of this is inside of Smart Wallet. Make Web3 provider. Request. Smart Wallet only. No. Like, where are the docs? Let's try going over to Agent Kit. Like, I'm sure there's some way I can get to Smart Wallet. Is it by doing this Smart Wallet? Is this a thing? Maybe Smart Dash Wallet if this is not a thing. And then I'll try without the welcome. And then we'll also try without the hyphen. And then we'll also try without the docs. And then we'll try with the hyphen. Coinbase, I just want to see your docs. Why is this so hard? All right, let's go back to the root docs. Agent Kit, create a smart wallet. Don't take me to base. Holy cow. It's only going to take me to base, and base does not tell me what I need to know. Where do I go to get the SDK definitions for what I'm trying to do? Yeah, none of this is what I'm looking for. This is not helpful at all. Let's try to find the raw CDP APIs and see if I can get back to where we saw app chains, on-ramp, off-ramp, status, wallets. I would like to see the full docs, CDP SDK. Let's try TypeScript. It's taking me back over to GitHub, which is, oh no, okay, let's try to stay here. Use these docs at Coinbase. I don't see a Coinbase SDK, so let's add a new doc, paste this, and we're going to call this Coinbase SDK. Where's my new doc? Oh, it's right there. Use these docs to see available methods to get existing smart wallet. What are the top level things? Index types, wallets. Create smart wallet or to smart wallet. But how do I get an existing smart wallet? Creates a smart wallet instance for an existing smart wallet address and signer. Use this to interact with previously deployed smart wallets rather than creating new ones. Signer must be original owner. So you're saying I need to save the smart wallet somewhere. Let's see what it's going to try to do. I can see that there's a wallet class. Let's see what it's doing. Wallets.list wallets. I don't see a list wallet method. For now, I might just hard code it. This is starting to get frustrating. Let's revert. I think I'm just going to hard code it. The question is, how can I get back to that address? How can I get back to that address? Let's try logging owner. Console.log owner. And with that, I'll save. Let's try pnpm build here and see if it's any faster. I want to see the owner, which is hopefully going to include the public key. No, but I also need the response from create smart wallet. What happens if I just try calling to smart wallet without the address? Are both parameters required? Both parameters are required. I don't know what the smart wallet address is, and my question is, how do I get smart wallet? address. API.smartWallet. This is an interface. Smart Wallets API. Get Smart Wallet. Smart Wallet address, no, I don't know it. Broadcast, create, get Smart Wallet, get user, list Smart Wallets. List Smart Wallets. What do you think of this method? But we're not passing in let's see what we get back. What does it return? It returns a smart wallet list. And a smart wallet list contains a smart wallet has more in total count, and a smart wallet contains address and an owner, owners. All right, let's see what's going on here. Seems like Smart Wallet API is not a thing. In that case, how do we actually use the Smart Wallet API? New Smart Wallet API comes from where? Point client API. I don't want client API, I want servers. Okay, my goal was to be using the Coinbase SDK. I'm currently running into errors related to creating multiple smart wallets. My goal is to just read from the API, but I don't know how to read from the API. There's no examples. Let's check out SRC Client API, Coinbase SDK. Let's try just using list smart wallets. Let's try list smart wallets. Maybe list smart wallets is not a thing. Feeling stuck. My current blocker is that we are creating a new smart wallet every single time when we need to be saving it. I'm trying to just find the smart wallet that we were using, and I'm having trouble finding the smart wallet that we were using. My question is, how do I get a smart wallet? It's from quick start template inside of client. Let's try to find the package. Node modules at Coinbase, Coinbase SDK, dist, client. Dist instead of client. None of this is readable. Let's undo these changes. I'm stuck. I'm feeling stuck. I don't know what to do right now. I feel so stuck. I'm going in loops. I'm not making progress. I'm going in loops. Webhook, create smart wallet, to smart wallet. Both of, those are the functions I need, but I don't know what the address is, and I'm not able to get it. Is it in the logs in Vercel? Are you going to tell me what the address is? That way I can hard code it? Or did you just not tell me? Correlation ID, failed to create smart wallet. What's my smart wallet public key? Please give it to me so that I can hard code it. Am I going to be able to proceed, or do I need to reach out to the Coinbase team? It feels like anytime I try to do something new with Coinbase, I get stuck not being able to find the docs, or whatever the method is not working. And I'm trying to figure out how I can better understand what the Coinbase team is shipping so that I can stay aligned with what they're doing. My blocker is blocking me. I need this to go out. Do I need to just get rid of the Coinbase SDK? I don't want this to be a blocker for me. I don't even know how to use this. There's nowhere in the docs that tells me how to use this stuff. Coinbase docs, like, what are you telling me here? Create secure wallet, send mass payments for free, create on-chain autonomous agents, programmatically trade. Sure, give me this autonomous agents. CDP, SDK, agent kit. I want smart wallets. What's send mass payouts? Mass payouts. The route does not make sense for Coinbase. Stop taking me back here. This page is not helpful for anyone. Okay, I'm feeling my emotions rising. I'm getting stuck and I don't know how to overcome this. CDP API documentation takes me back to a place that does not include any actual docs that would be helpful for a dev to build out. Don't take me to base. Base is not where I want to go. The base app is only telling me about front end stuff. None of this is helpful. Let's try the Wallets API backend. Oh, did I finally find it? Is it hidden right in here? Oh, I finally found it. Okay, this works for creating a smart wallet. Reinstantiating a smart wallet. Private key to account. Smart wallet address. So I have to save the smart wallet address somewhere. What if I don't have this? Like, why are you assuming that I saved this? I guess I made the mistake of deleting the cache. But is this really what we're expected to do, is save it to our file system? No. I mean, this is what I was looking for. Forcing devs to missing a method to get smart wallets for an owner. I really dislike that they're trying to have us save this information to local files. Okay, I'm getting stuck. I would like to continue. In all reality, the private key does not matter. The address does not matter. We can continue to create new ones. So let's undo the latest changes that I made and let's move forward. I think I'm finally feeling like I know where I'm going to go. What I'm going to do is not worry about keeping in a consistent API key. And instead, we're just going to keep creating new ones, and we're going to be focusing on using the paymaster, so we don't have to worry about any of these errors. And I'll talk with the Coinbase team async, but my current blocker with my current method is I have no idea how to get the smart wallet that I've already created. I don't even know what's going on right now. Don't know what's going on here. So we will try const generate. We're just going to generate a new private key. All right, now we're generating a new private key. We're no longer using our saved private key. We're going to be creating a new smart wallet every time. I'm fine with this. Let's keep moving on. This pull request is taking me way longer than expected. Always generate new private key. I don't like it, but again, we're not saving anything into these wallets. These wallets are only used to call an on-chain transaction, so I don't care I don't care if we're throwing it out every time or that we're not saving it. I just need something that works. Closing out of all these open Coinbase docs because most of them were not helpful. I need to get out of this emotional reaction. I'm feeling very emotional and I need to come back to my sincere practice. Need to? I don't need to. Let's come back to our bones. We're waiting for a build. Let's verify that we have a build. There's our build. Let's review our code changes and then we'll come back to our bones. Check out the files changed. Create wallet is generating a new private key. It's creating an account for that private key and then creating a smart wallet for that account. That's the only file that was changed. Now let's go back to the bones. Fingers on fingers, getting our bones. First bones we're going to touch are our sitting bones. Take the bones in your fingers, connect them to your sitting bones. We're just observing, asking ourselves the question, where am I right now? Feel your sitting bones. Feel the contact between your fingers and those sitting bones. Take a couple breaths here. Now we're going to move away towards the tailbone behind and the pubic bone in front, moving slightly away from the center. Where are you right now? Where's that pubic bone? Where's your tailbone? Touch it, bone to bone. Couple breaths here. Coming up to the sides of your hips where you have your iliac crests on each side. Feel those iliac crests. This top bone that we're feeling right now is connected to that first bone directly. It's the same bone. It's all one unified bone. The tailbone's disconnected, but it's in the same place. But the pubic bone, sitting bones, and these iliac crests are all part of the same bone. Now we're live, so we can come back to testing. Let's try refreshing this endpoint, and hopefully now we're getting a smart wallet address again with no more errors. We're getting a smart wallet address that starts with 5BB. Run it again. I get a new smart wallet with F1E. I run it again. I get a new smart wallet address of 851. We're getting our smart wallets. Let's ship this and move on to the last pull request of the day. Squash and merge. We shipped the pull request, updating the Slack thread. Ship, we'll add the ship emoji. And let's move on to the next task. I should have some docs and I want to get those docs. So let's go back to CDP docs. And I think I know how to get there now. So we'll go back to the docs. The confusing part is that Coinbase labels only one thing as smart wallets and it redirects us to the front end. But really we want the wallet API, which is the back end. And inside of the wallet API, we then have a smart wallet section. And this is where we have the details for sending a batch user operation. Go back to our roadmap. Scratchpad for step 68. ABI is at protocol rewards ABI. Docs for batch TX with Smart Wallet is right here. That should be all the info it needs. While it's doing that, I'm going to go back into my tickets and update my branch with the last ticket of the day. Check out to my new branch name, publish the branch. Once the branch is published, click the three dots, pull from origin main, and then sync those changes again. Let's see how it's doing on its Scratchpad. Implement withdrawal for batch transactions. We want to update the distribute to execute withdraw for transactions using Coinbase Smart Wallet. Use Paymaster for gas fees. Batch multiple withdraw for calls in a single transaction for efficiency. From the protocol rewards ABI, it already is seeing withdraw for. Allows withdrawal on behalf of another address parameter on the amount. It's going to create a user operation on the Smart Wallet, bundle multiple withdrawal for calls in a single operation, set gas parameters in Paymaster data. Broadcast operation, we're going to be calling broadcast user operation to execute the batched transaction, handle success and failure. We've already set up the Smart Wallet. Now we need to implement withdrawal for, create a lib called batch withdraw, function to create user operations for multiple withdrawal for calls, handle the Paymaster integration, return the operation hash for tracking. That all sounds great. I point to a post. The main reason I want to keep it as a GIT is because it allows me to query the endpoint directly from a browser. I understand from a dev perspective, it does not match dev best practices. It's creating the library where we're going to call that withdraw. Let's see what we got. Batch withdraw. Gets all the withdrawal calls. Then it creates the user operation for the calls on the specified chain ID. Yeah, some of this is not correct. But we at least have the raw. Nope, this is doing too much, right? Batch withdrawal for recipients. This is feeling convoluted. I'm not liking this at all. Move the call to and inside of we're going to reorient some of this real quick. Let's check out the docs. Is there any mention of a paymaster in here? There is. We've got a paymaster URL right down here. Let's verify that. Let's go to Coinbase CD. I think it's platform. Is that it? No. We'll go step at a time. I've still got $11,000 in credits. And I've got the URL. On both base Sepolia and on base mainnet, it's the same. The only difference is the base of the URL. So for now, keep this as is. Where are we at? Are we implementing? Okay. There we go. And now let's check back in the route and see how the route's looking. Unnecessary assertion. And we have no more errors in the route. It added all of these back in, which I don't like. We already created a lib for this. Stop. Okay, we're getting very close to my meeting. What were we using before? Filter valid contracts. Oh, this is filtering for batch withdrawal, okay. Okay, everything's looking fine here. Let's keep going into the batch withdrawal. We then initialize the SDK. Okay, we're doing user ops. Where are my docs? Send user operation. I don't know if we're using a create user operation. Only send user operation. There is no create. Send user operation. We don't have an add paymaster. And we don't have a broadcast. We just have wait for user op. And then what do we do with the operation result? See the status. I don't know what this result is, so let's this is not the transaction hash. What do we do with the user op hash is the question. Wait for user op. How do we get the transactions from this? Here's how we use paymaster and send user operation. Let's use this for now. Send user operations includes chain ID, not network ID. Chain ID, as well as calls, and then paymaster URL. What don't you like? Target as address. Does that fix it? Nope. I don't know what the error is. Let's try fixing it. Are you going to give me the option to fix in chat? Okay, we get all the calls, we send the operation, we wait for the hash, we return the hash. The hash is probably not useful for us, but okay, I've got less than 10 minutes to fully wrap this up and be ready for my next stream. So, okay, Google, 3-minute timer. Let's give me 3 minutes. I don't even know what changed. Beautiful. All right. And I'm missing paymaster URL, which is looks like something like this. And I'm going to move this off screen so that I can get what those formats are. We have an isProd flag. And so here we say what don't you like about the paymaster URL? Send user operation calls. It definitely includes a paymaster URL. And so it's either here going to be isProd if isProd question mark base, otherwise let me verify, it's either base or base hyphen Sepolia, so that looks great. And then we need the key, and let's make this key $Coinbase Let me check if it, I don't think it's the same. Coinbase, CDP, paymaster key. We'll save that, and I'm going to add that real quick into my environment variables. So we'll go over to Vercel, environment variables, add the paymaster key, go over to my developer portal, copy that key, add it as the value and save. Okay, and I've now added paymaster. It doesn't like it. Let's ignore this. I want you to ignore this. Give me that quick fix. Expect error. Paymaster URL is not typed. Sure. Are there any other errors in this file? Is prod? Oh, it's never exported? Export. Definitely export it then. No more errors. Let's push this and see if it works. Let's add an X. Copy all this. Route was updated. Add that. Constants is exporting as prod. And then batch withdrawal is the big new function. Paste everything, commit it all. Withdraw 4, we're now deploying. And we've already shipped our new environment variables we need for CDP paymaster key. So let's bring the browser back over. I'm going to pull it back just to make sure that I closed out of any. No, I did not close out of everything with important info. Close this. Let's check out how our deployment is going, and we'll get the pull request set up for this because I am running late. Pull requests. Compare and pull. Create the pull request. Hashtag keep records. This is the moment of truth. Is it actually going to do the withdrawals or not? I'm curious how it's doing in prod. On prod, are we going to get all the right data? On prod, I'm seeing a whole lot of data. Looks like we've got 11 different payouts on prod. Let's check out how our deployment's going. We should be able to visit the URL already. /API/earnings/distribute. I'm not going to send it because I want to wait till the latest deployment, because once we distribute the funds, there won't be an additional for a while. Test here. And let's review the changes, make sure that I'm happy with them if I haven't already. Address, batch withdrawal is being imported. User, operation hash, smart wallet. Batch withdrawal has too many comments. Let's go into batch withdrawal and fix that. Remove dev comments. Push it. 44, I'm already late. How are we doing on the deploy? The deployment is live. Let's see if it works. I should get a user operation hash. Failed to process. What was the error? So it seems like I'm not going to be able to finish this on the call today, on the stream, unfortunately. Let's go back to the deploy and make sure I'm testing the latest. Okay, distribute, we got that error, but now I'm already moving away. Come back here, go to the logs. Error. Matchpad to debug. All right, we need to start wrapping up. I'm going to copy this and save it over here in the current error just to make sure that I've saved it. Error. All right, and with that, I'm going to start wrapping up. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. If you've tuned in this long, please make sure to leave a like, leave a subscribe, leave a comment down below how you are publishing music on Base, or if you bought any music on Base, what the last song was that you bought. I'm always collecting, and I want to see the other music that people are sharing. Thank you for tuning in. I'll catch you in a little bit with our daily Recoup live stream. Bye.